Good day, everybody. Today we're here for week 2 of the SPDA Draft League. Yeah, again, not really probably going to be able to edit most of these videos just because I'm pretty busy, but so they're going to look like this, kind of like how they used to. Just give a brief overview of the team and the matchup. Playing against that boy Keith. Never played him before, but he seems pretty cool, and I really dig the team. This really looks like something I would use. I think I've used like most of these mods already, so I should have a good idea of how to beat them. But it's, I don't know. It's a pretty good team. I can see most of these things. I can honestly see a case for any of these coming. Thunder's a pretty big problem because my ground can't take a grass knot, so that's not cool. Sacred Fire spam is also pretty easy, so hopefully that doesn't come around to bite me. But I've got some tools. We got Culber Berry, Fizz Def, Sinistra. This takes care of a lot of these. This alone can just sit on Chomp or Tarak, and even Entei as long as I don't get burnt, which obviously I can't guarantee, but it would be nice. It's also an emergency switch in for Thunderous because it takes all its moves, and the Dark Pulse is blocked by Culber. And I can click Scald to burn something, Strength Step to stay healthy, Machigacha is a good stab, and heals and spreads burn, so it's all the moves in one. And Reflect is there because it's a good fourth move to click if I have a free turn to shut down something like Chomp or Entei, or make Koopa easier to stomach. So this doesn't have to do all the work. On second thought, I don't know if I should have put Scald and Machigacha on here, because Scald just seems worse in most scenarios, but it gives me a move to click versus Entei, actually, so that's pretty good. And I guess it's slightly better into Core, but even then, maybe Foul Play or Stun Spore probably would have been better, but I don't know. We got this. We got Horse with Boots 4 attacks. It's pretty good this week. I had to run max speed because there's a Tarak, and I don't want to mess around with that. If it's Scarf, it's a lot easier to deal with, but if it's like SD or Bandit or something, I want to be able to take advantage of that, the speed tie, and try to just win that. I'm not Scarf this week, though, because I don't want to choice myself with the water immune over there, and there's no move I really want to lock into. Secret Sword is okay to click to lock into, but I didn't want to restrict myself like that. So, and I put Surf over Icy Wind at the last second because the difference between Icy Wind and Pump versus Chomp really isn't that much, and Surf means I'm not going to choke because I have to click Hydro Pump and miss. So that's nice. Water's also just generally spammable here other than the immune guy. So we got Tusk. This is a Fizz Def set, helps up with the aforementioned Chomp, Tarak, Entei. It spins, and there's no Ghost to block spin this week, so it's pretty free. Knockoff for whenever Core wants to come in, I can knock off the helmet or lefties and chip it, or if they want to get cheeky and go Thundy or something, I can knock that off too. Spinner just gives me a thing to hit Garchomp with, since I'm supposed to swap into it with this and beat it. And Close Combat is a move that hits everything for good damage and kills Terrakion, but I didn't put Headlong, even though Headlong would have been better for Entei because I don't want to blank into the flying types that are probably coming in every single time, so I'd rather get some sort of chip on them. We're bringing back Specs Kyurem again. I wasn't sure if I was going to be bringing this specific set, but it's so good, dude. Specs ice moves are just so free to click. It helps chipping with Entei. Even Corv is getting 2-shot on a Fizz Def variant. Draco gives me a nuke button to click versus neutral targets if I just need to hit something like Hoopa really hard. Freeze Dry gives me the Clean Oko on the Ogerpon, and gives me more PP in case I get into some sort of weird pressure situation between the two pressure mons, and I don't want to run out of Ice Beams. And Earth Power is a move that I put on here for the Fez because it's 2 Echoes Fez. So, don't want to deal with that. That's pretty good. This is our rocker for the week. We got Terra Fairy, helps with Hoopa and Thunderos a little bit. Healing Wish gives me a kind of a safety option because I don't have the Wish Fish this time. So this is kind of like the closest thing I can replicate to it. It's very frustrating that this mon doesn't get just standard Wish. I think it makes sense thematically. So, but we're going to rock out with Healing Wish for that. Encore gives me something that I can click versus Core or a setup on to take advantage of. And then U-Turn not only gives me good pivoting, but also just Dex Hoopa Unbound in particular, which is really nice. We're invested to outspeed and any, I don't know what the word is, adamant, Jol, or modest, or whatever. It has to be plus speed nature to outspeed this. So that means it's a lot less threatening, which is pretty good. We got AV, Dragon. It clicks Dragon Tail and clicks Iron Head versus the Terra Fairies on the bottom. It clicks Ice Beam versus Thunderous, and it clicks Knockoff versus everything else. It's pretty standard, but I couldn't fit Leftovers or Rest on it this week because I really need the extra bulk. I'm like super SPDA because I don't want to just lose to like a Focus Blast plot there, Thunderous or something. And this gives me an out versus that. Pretty cool. Alright, we are rolling. We are loading in. Apologized for we had a little delay because the bot was being mad slow. I guess there's a lot of people in the queue or something, but we're here. Alright, let me write down what we got. Ogerpon, Corv. No Thunderous is actually insane. Okay, wow. That's like the first thing I would assume gets put in. No Entei either. Okay. I kind of want to just lead Mesprit and get stuff up as soon as possible. It's also built so it can basically never be one-shot by anything other than like a banded gunk shot from Hoopa or maybe Fez. But I also want to deny their own hazards. And I guess the only way to do that is just to lead like bonkers and try to bait an attack from Ogerpon or just kill Chomp. But I think this is a little safer because I really want to deny rocks, especially for Kyurem, but it's also, I'm not in a rush to do that because I do have Tusk who can always just click spin. The opportunities are pretty free, especially if I can get a knock on the Corv early. That'd also be great. Meaning spin will essentially have no punishment. That would be ideal. I don't know what the worst thing to see on lead would be. Probably Fez or Hoopa, but Hoopa's actually a really good lead here. Am I worried if it comes out? A little, but I guess the play would still be just to stay in and U-turn anyway. So this probably puts me in the best position. I don't think I need to maintain Psychic typing either. I think we always just Terra turn 1. This is also very fine, because you don't have Knock or any way to really threaten me. Can I just put up the rocks immediately? Sub is a... It's either Stealth Rock or Sub are probably the two plays that are coming out. How much does like a Banded Stone Edge do? It does a million jillion. It's because I was considering just clicking Encore first round and then clicking rocks. But I also don't... If it's not choice band anyway, I'm not afraid if it stays in, so I'm clicking... I'm just gonna get the rocks up now then. If it is sub, I can just Encore on the second turn. So... This thing doesn't get... It does get Iron Head and Poison Jab, actually, so I do need to mind that. Yeah, that's fine. I could have encored it into it, but again, I think getting up my own rocks is more of a priority. Let's see, so now that we know it's not banded, it's probably like Sash. What is its damage output looking like versus me? Can I just... Because I would love to just click U-turn. Iron Head is 2 a KO. Actually, no, it's not. Not after leftovers. 43 to 51. And there's no Thunderous, so I'm not super worried about keeping this thing healthy, but I am for Hoopa, actually. So I think I just lied. I think Tuskathy's actually pretty free, so is Macho Man. Especially if it's no banned. If a double's coming out, the double's gonna be into what? Like Chomp? Fez? I'm actually just gonna U-turn, I'm not really afraid of this. Okay, cool. Cool. I'm glad I did what I did, actually. Okay, so this is I definitely broke the Sash, then. I'm almost certain this is Sash. I don't just want to go Keld and just die, so let's look at probably Sinistra, right? Sinistra is 68 to 81 off Machagacha. Great Tusk actually just kills it and doesn't die back, so that's what we're gonna do. That's a much safer play. Especially if Machagacha just misses. Actually, I could be cheeky and try to spin for the boost, but if this is max speed, I don't want to risk that. If Corp comes out, it's not a big deal if I take some chip. It gets this thing off the field. Yeah, so this is just gonna... Yeah, this is just sacking itself. Just a suicide lead. I mean, fair enough. Ah, interesting. That's actually crazy tech. Hold on. Okay, well I'm gonna have to play around that later. That did a lot, dude. I think I can just click it again. I mean, I risk dying, but... That did a lot, dude. I think that's SPDA. I wish I had the little bar, actually. So Stealth Rock plus Close Combat did like 60-something%. Yeah, another one's definitely just gonna kill. And if I'm low HP anyway, I can just Healing Wish up later. Okay, cool. So that's done. Now there's no defogging for him. Oh no. I could still spin versus a Hoopa potentially. I don't mind giving this a free turn. Corviknight. It could be a Calm Mindset, or it could just be here to kill me. Because I definitely do not have enough speed to outspeed this. I don't think I need to sack this off just yet. I think Silly Billy's very free to come in and not worry about this. It doesn't get any coverage, doesn't get knockoff. All it can do is U-turn, which is just like... I guess that's the best play for them to make, but I'd rather keep the sack. Especially with Terrakion in the back. 341 to 305. $36 damage off a Moonblast. Yeah, that's like no investment. Actually, 36. Actually, it is a little invested. But not max. Okay, interesting. I don't want to Iron Head into a Terra. I think knockoff is always the click. I mean, what's the switching? No Corv, so it's probably like Chomp, Hoopa, AV Hoopa maybe. Knocking off is still never a bad play, though. The other Terra Captain is regular Gudra, so that means this is what's gonna Terra. What did that put my HP at? 305, I think like 280 something. Alright, so given that a Justify boost is very uncool, I think we still just sack Tusk. 281 minus 281. 24. So, yeah, uninvested. Alright, I think we just need to position Sinistcha to get in front of this now. Because it's probably going to kill. Actually, no, it depends on investment. I can't lose this yet, unfortunately, so I can't stay in detail. How much is +1? +1 does way too much to Sinistcha, so we do have to make the sack, unfortunately. So there's no way the last move isn't Stone Edge. Or something for Sinistcha. They did opt to not set up, actually. Is there any shot KELDEO lives? Heck no. Okay. So just bring out the teacup. I think we just always matcha here. No reason not to. It's the most damage, it heals, and there's no switching anymore. Actually, I guess Fez, but a burn on Fez would be pretty big. Get a little chip on this. Do land, okay. That did a good chunk. Oh, that was a crit. No burn, though. That did like 25%-ish. So that's interesting. Is this like... Dude, this thing has like no EVs. I don't know, what are you, Fizdef? I don't understand why that did so much. Anyway, I don't want to be poisoned, but I also don't want to take a U-turn. I am slower. And I don't care too much about... I mean, they're probably just gonna roost, actually. So let's just do Billy Man. Actually, Mesprit wouldn't have been bad either. That might have been a little better because I don't really care if that gets poisoned as much. And I could have encored. Or just U-turn on the U-turn. Ironhead is actually probably the best play because if it stays in, it's either has to Terra or take a lot of damage. And if Tarak wants to be cute again, it's taken a lot. Right? Yeah, 58 to 69. Who else could even come in on this? It's like maybe Garchomp, but you don't know if I'm Shuka. I guess I don't want Tarak coming in again, so just Ironhead. Because the other play is Dragon Tailing here, which is also not horrible, but I don't... I don't know if that'd be better. At least Ironhead is like, even if you stay into Terra, I'm at least getting some chip off. Versus Dragon Tail can just blank and do nothing. I'm not sure how this Fez is going to get played. We're probably going to see the Garchomp come in, so maybe I should have knocked, but I can't let that Tarak just run free. Let's get some chip on this. Nice, 30 something. 40 something. Is it Rocky Helmet? It's not. What can I learn from that? Yeah, it looks pretty offensive. Well, we always just go this, because we block the scale shot, and we don't really care about any other moves. I don't think, like, an Iron Head is gonna be the end of the world. It kind of is, actually. That's fine. Because Keld can always outspeed. Yeah. I mean, we threaten an Ice Beam here. Spikes are not cool, but yeah. I don't actually have Ice Beam. I thought about putting it on, but I could get a Healing Wish off. But is it too early? I think so. I'd rather just go into the teacup. I probably should have done that first. I don't want to Encore if they're just going to spike again anyway, so let's just... I think a U-turn gets it into pump range. Actually, it's basically in pump range already, but I could just U-turn and then click Hydro, actually. What about Secret Sword? Secret Sword's actually also fine. Plus, I don't know if they're going to want to necessarily leave this in. It's not a bad idea to sack this off for hazards, since Tusk is gone. From my opponent's perspective, but I'm not sure if they... Yeah, they want to get more mileage out of this. Go back into this. So, who can I bring in to threaten? Who's coming in? Kyurem does half. I could just go to Billy again, but that's hasn't been very successful. I don't think this is gonna do enough to threaten it big. Run a calc. Yeah, no. If I'm going to something, I'm going to Kyurem, but I have to be careful with Kyurem's HP, actually. I don't think a Moonblast is doing too much, but with rocks, it's taking a lot. Earth Power could just 60 to 80. And what's the Earth Power switching? Nothing, really. I guess... Can Ice Beam actually 2 KO from this range? That'd be great. I think it can. Yeah, Moonblast never kills based on its previous damage, and Ice Beam is 50 to like 60. Oh my god, is it Terra Water? At least we forced the Terra. Okay. Maybe I should have freeze dried. Oh, I'm so bad. But freeze dry didn't. Freeze dry didn't do enough damage. The problem. Oh, it's faster. Oh no. Well, I guess I get some chip on this and then take a freeze. I can't Healing Wish now because I died of rocks, so I just gotta let this go, unfortunately. But now Dragon Tail spam is, I think, the end game goal. I just have to play around Terrakion really well. So we're gonna need some sort of Sinistra action too. We're still doing good ship and rolling for freeze. Can Sinistra just come in now, actually? What moves is this revealed? U-turn, Moonblast, Roost. Last move could be Toxic. Does Silly Billy need to heal up now, actually? It's not a bad idea. Little John might outspeed this, but this also has a lot of... This could just be max speed, actually. So that's probably a dumb idea. So... I can either start Dragon Tailing, or I can go Matcha Gacha and try to set up, like, Reflect or something. Or I would just click Matcha Gacha, which is also pretty good. This is tough. I just don't want Goodra taking too much unnecessary chip. I think this is better. Because if Tarak comes in versus Goodra, or even Chomp, it's just a bad spot, and then this would have to come in anyway. So I might as well get my damage off. So we're doing a good chunk. 43-51. No poison proc is good. But nobody can really handle this move if a burn comes out. This will be pretty telling too. It's another good chunk. What set are you? I don't think you're AV based on that damage. So probably like... Yeah, that did like, so between stealth, that probably did like 30-ish%, so that's probably more offensive leaning. Actually, I can just burn the Culber since nobody else has a dark move, but am I just gonna die if it's Dark Pulse? If it's Special Hoopa, it can do 229, no, max 250. If it's a boosting item, I die. If it's not a boosting item, I live and strength set. And my switch-ins for this thing are kind of bad, so I'm going to make the funny play. Oh, perfect. Actually, unless it's... Oh my god. Okay, I probably shouldn't have done that. That was probably a troll. We always go into this here. That was super troll of me. I'm assuming you're like Specs. If you want to make that kind of play. How much do I take from this? I can take... Should be able to take one unless it's like high rolls on max specs. So that means U-turning or healing wishing now, and I don't want to do that. I think U-turn always nets some sort of result. Okay, cool. So this should be dead. Nice. Get that thread out of here. Now Mesprit's probably gonna look for a healing wish soon because it gets more opportunities. Or it's not as useful. But it does get opportunities versus like Chomp and Fez. Hoopa 1-1. I'm in a bad spot because Lil Jon is who I would go to. I think I have to go to Bonkers. I think I can't let Tarak just set up for free. Sinistcha is 0-1. Nesprit is 1-0. Hoopa is 1-1. Okay. Numbers versus this thing. Probably, definitely not killing. I assume you're more Fizz Def, or you're like max HP, max speed. You are Terra Water. We actually do a really good chunk to this. Can I live a Moonblast? Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, I think. I don't think it's worth, especially if you're just gonna Roost or something anyway. I'm gonna get one off. Okay. We love this. That's unfortunate, but this is gonna be a quick endgame anyway. So, that's fine. Is there any shot a flip turn kills? There's a chance, but probably not. So just click another attack. Doesn't matter if I click... I guess I can click Secret Sword again to bluff a choice item. Does Secret Sword make contact? I'm just gonna click it again. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna save this. No reason to. And I do have the boots, so I do have some longevity on me, even though I'm poisoned. And I speed tie with Tarak at worst. Chomp is... I think Chomp is in range too. This is like the one threat. But I don't have Sinistra, so I could just lose to this. I think the way I beat this... If it doesn't have low kick, Billy can handle it. But how do I get it in position? Can I just healing... Yeah. We go to Lil Jon, and we try to Healing Wish. If I would have Healing Wished earlier, I'd feel a lot more comfortable with this endgame. So maybe that was a risk I didn't need to take. Okay, it doesn't SD. There's a small chance it doesn't have a grass move, but I highly doubt it. We are just gonna make the Goodra play, because there's no other option. Do I even live Cudgel? I don't think it's worth... I don't think it even matters. I think this is the only play I can make. This thing actually does very little damage to me overall. Play Rough has a chance to miss and also isn't a guaranteed kill. Cudgel never kills. What's the best way? I have to kill... I wish I had Draco, dude. I have no moves. I guess I could just go for the Ice Beam Freeze. If you detail... and if I detail, it doesn't really matter. Because Keldeo never beats you if you're fast, so... I guess freezing is the only option. Oh no. I thought... Okay, I almost had Gooey this week too, dude. It actually would have mattered. I'm like... My ideology is that this would have been able to beat this, so I wouldn't be worried. Or like, I had other options to deal with it. I just wanted Shell Armor to prevent crits from something like a Thunderous. So I could be more reliable at beating it. But Gooey actually would have made a difference. Wow. I mean, Secret Sword doesn't kill from this range anyway, but still, it could have been something. But that's a tough loss, so GG's. I don't really know where the mistake was made. I guess sacking Sinistra to Hoopa was never the play. And I would have loved if I could have kept spin around, so maybe I shouldn't have made that trade. I feel like that probably wasn't really worth it for me to CC again on the Corv. Like, even if it was alive, it probably wouldn't have been as big an issue as Rocks ended up being. So, that's unfortunate. But, yeah, no Johns, GG's to my opponent, and we'll see y'all next week.